Good morning, MSPs. How are you today? We have some exciting news. We're going to be talking with Heather and Brian from Gozynta. They have got the coolest integrations that you need for your MSP. So before we get started, I want to go ahead and talk about what Heather and Brian's background is and how Gozynta started. What is Gozynta's story? So Heather, let's start with you. Tell me about your experience with Gozynta and how far back do you go with MSPs specifically?
Sure. So Brian and I co-founded Gozynta. We came out of an MSP, and Brian will talk about that a little more. My business is not in tech. I was senior management at a graduate school and also got the opportunity to do some organization at the White House. So I did that for 2 years, and then well, Brian and I co-founded Gozynta together, actually the same month that we got married. So it was a busy month. And, and Brian can go back a little bit about where we came from as an MSP before Gozynta was founded.
Yeah, so I was part of an MSP for 10 years called Mobius Works. We built our products as part of that MSP. Starting with Mobius Connect, which we built in 2013. And so we had Mobius Connect and Tixt, and then we were doing the MSP stuff, and we were doing custom development. And I ended up getting to a point where my business partner and I wanted to go in different directions with the company. So Heather and I worked together to negotiate a way to split the company, and we took these products, which were kind of just a side thing of the previous business, and really give them the attention to deserve, so we can serve the MSP market better, and really invest in these products. You know, we're not in this business to make a fortune. We take a modest salary, and we're really trying to reinvest everything that we make into making our products better and growing what we can do for the MSP market.
Well, you know, that's really interesting because most of the vendors that I speak to, they're big companies, and being able to connect with you on a level with the MSPs, because most MSPs are run by husband and wife or a partners, and they start off with just two people and then they work their way up. I mean, that definitely is a major connection. And I think, Brian, you chose some really great products to pull away from Mobius to give to the MSP industry, and I'm excited to talk about it. I'm excited to see them integrate it. So, because they're going to, there's no doubt about it. Once they start hearing about it, they're going to want it. I would want it. So that's interesting. So that's how Gozynta started. How did you two meet?
Oh, well, that's a good story too. We met online. We started talking on a dating app, and I guess that's getting more and more common. But we met, and our first time meeting, we started talking about probably not what normal couples start about. I was in the end parts of my MBA, and Brian was CEO at Mobius Works. And we talked business, we talked payroll companies, we talked HR, and they had to ask us to leave the restaurant because we closed the restaurant because we just kept talking about business, and really we never stopped. That's what we enjoy doing. We spend our weekends thinking about, you know, how we can make MSPs' lives easier, and it's genuine. We really care about this community. We love being a part of it. We love being at IT Nation and seeing all our friends there that we get to work with, and it's just great. I mean, I love this community. We really feel a great part of it. My favorite parts of my days are getting to talk to MSP owners looking for solutions or business advice or just saying hi. It's great. It's a great community.
I love that story. So you guys got into it in a technical kind of way, and yes, here you are. That is a beautiful story. Absolutely. And yeah, I feel like more people are doing that, meeting online, especially with the whole pandemic and being in quarantine. I mean, how are you gonna meet anybody these days, right?
Yeah, that's a whole different issue.
So let's talk about how Gozynta will help MSPs. Let's talk about what you got going on.
Sure, absolutely. First, as I mentioned about the community, we are trying to help the community. I talked about how I had a very busy life before coming to Gozynta. At one 3-week stretch, I was doing the events at the White House, had organized an art festival, and took a 2-week tour that I led through Southeast Asia, and was working. I think I wasn't sleeping for a few of the weeks. And people would say, you need to slow down. Do you need to take a break? And I'd be like, no, my eye always twitches. It's fine.
I
But
remember that was happening
after
to
I
me.
got, oh my goodness. And it's funny because I was an HR director, so I took the utmost importance in people I talked to saying, well, let's breathe before we start our meeting, or you look stressed out. But I didn't have any of the time for that crap. No way. Just forget it. Who has that time? So when I got back, I was driving in my car, singing tunes at the top of my lungs, and all of a sudden I felt like I was having a heart attack. And I pulled into a medical center, didn't even park, which, if you know me, I'm such a rule follower. You know how dire this situation was. And I ran in and into the emergency room, and I said, I'm dying. I'm having a heart attack. And they took me right in, and they said, you're okay. It's a panic attack. And I was like, I don't have stress. What are you talking about? My life is great. And she talked to me about what was going on, and she said, you need to take time out for yourself. Well, even with that, I only have about 5 minutes here and there to do that. So we thought this might be helpful, because I've talked to enough MSP owners to know they're not taking 5 minutes out for themselves. They don't have that time either. So these are little 5-minute breaks that the MSPs can take to be able to get themselves, their feet back under them, their eye to stop twitching. And, long-term effects of that are huge. So you can go to our blog at www.gozynta.com/blog, and there is a 5-minute videos that are little breaks, an intentional cup of tea, going outside and just yelling, not at anybody, but just to get out some stress. So there's about 8 videos there. They're just little breaks for the day, and I hope it gives people a little bit of solace in their day. The second thing is we do have some amazing products, and the key right now, and especially 2021, automate, automate, automate. You should not be doing any of this stuff with your own fingers. We can do it for you. So the big thing, automating QuickBooks Online goes into Mobius. Lots of people are moving to QuickBooks Online. Every day, I have more and more people switching from desktop, switching from Sage. People really want QuickBooks Online. It's where it's at. Gozynta Mobius will sync your invoices, expenses, and inventory from Manage to QuickBooks Online. Completely saves time. You can do everything in one click of a button. If that is way too much time for you, and I get it, you can turn on auto sync, and you close an invoice and Manage, it syncs right over for you to QuickBooks Online, no problem. Every day, the payments get synced back over from QuickBooks Online to Manage, so both systems are nice and sync.
And let's go backwards for a minute. Let's talk about what that challenge looks like without Gozynta, because I think we need to discuss what they're going through, and I don't think they really will understand how this is going to really impact their productivity. So let's talk about the timing and that challenge of what they're going through when they are getting ready to put that invoice through. What are the steps they need to take if they do use QuickBooks as well?
If they're not using Mobius.
Correct.
Yeah, so it's, so you're doing your billing from Manage, because that's what Manage does. You get all your you do all your tickets, you have your agreements, it creates invoices, and you send them out to your customers. Now, you still need to record all that data in QuickBooks so that you can have financial reports for your accountant. So you either need to hand enter all of those invoices into QuickBooks one at a time, or you need to do adjusting GL entries for all of the invoicing that you've done, And if you're doing adjusting GL entries, then you can't do payments in QuickBooks. You have to do the payment entries in Manage. And Manage, I mean, Connectwise has always said, we're not an accounting company. They have the basic pieces that they need to connect with accounting, but it's far from an accounting system, and you really want to be able to track invoices and payments in a proper accounting system like QuickBooks Online. So with Mobius, you create your invoices in Manage and then batch them over to QuickBooks. They're there. You can receive payments against them there, but then we also bring the payments back into Manage so that you have your payment status correct in both
There's a dual
places.
sync involved.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
And
fantastic.
the average MSP that's manually entering invoices and data and bringing it back and forth, it's about 10 hours a week, and that's kind of a minimum. The process is very prone to mistakes, and you can use that time for something else. It's 10 hours. I mean, you could do so much more with 10 hours. So it's really important. Some of the ways we're trying to take Mobius and help the community is we do offer a free plan, and that's to support our small MSPs who are just getting started. It works for up to $50,000 invoices batched over a month. And we also recently launched an optional onboarding program, and that is for that busy MSP that really doesn't have the time to set up Gozynta Mobius. We have a plan to help them as well.
How long does that setup usually take?
What do you think, Brian?
The setup of Mobius is very straightforward. It should take 5-10 minutes. The difficult part is that you need to have your GL mapping set up properly in Manage first. So there's documentation in Connectwise's documentation for that. We have some documentation to help with it. We do offer an onboarding package now for people who want some help with that additionally. And there's plenty of consultants in this space that would be happy to work with you on, both how you structure everything in Manage, how you want your GL structure to be in QuickBooks, and then how to get those two map to each other in the way that fits your business, because that is a piece that is custom for how your business reporting is going.
Right. And your experience, how many MSPs would you say didn't have their GL mapping done correctly?
I think in the beginning, they usually don't have it set up correctly. You can do this piecemeal. If you don't have your GL mapping set up and you start and you say, okay, I need all of my data for my professional services board to come, any of those tickets or agreements need to come over into my professional services account in QuickBooks or whatever it may be. And then you can run, select an invoice and bring it over and make sure it comes over the way you want. If something doesn't map, we've worked a lot in the past year in improving our error messages to make sure that they're clear and tell you, this is what you got wrong. This is probably where you need to look to make sure that you have data in the right places. And then keep playing with it until it looks the way you like. If you don't want to go through that process, there are a lot of experts that can help you with that.
Right.
But our user guide is really, really top notch. We get a lot of people talking about our knowledge base. You can search by error. One thing is, I'm not a very technical person. I actually hand the remote to my kids to use the remote. So I am on the lower level of setting things up on my own. However, I took the directions, I took screenshots, I made it in a way that made sense to me. And then I handed it to my kids and made them set it up, never going into Connectwise before, and watched them and adjusted it. And we're constantly adjusting, trying to make it more user-friendly. Every person that sends a support request, we look at it and think, is there a way we could have explained this easier? When we make this, we want to take the barbs out. We don't want any barbs. So
Heather, how old are your children?
We have 4 together. We have a 19-year-old, 17, 15, and 14.
And was it the 14-year-old you asked to set up?
No, it wasn't. She hasn't yet, but maybe
industry.
I think she could have done it. I think
Yeah.
she could have done it.
I think so too. I think so. We
Just
should
getting her to sit still long enough to do it.
Yeah.
Right? I know. None of them can. Even mine. Mine's 19 now, but when he was 14, it was like, oh,
Yeah.
you know, focus.
We try to keep a fresh crop of kids so we can keep testing. You know, it's our UX audience, and we don't want them to know the product too well. So we're kind of, you know, keeping a fresh batch of new users.
But bottom line is, MSPs, guys, gals, you don't have time to be doing that. If you do have time, great. It's easy to set up. But if you don't have time, you have Heather and Brian to help you out, and they can get it onboarded for you. So
I'm always amazed at how many MSPs are still doing this manually. You know, when we were Mobius we never did it manually. We were using QuickBooks Desktop. We eventually switched to QuickBooks Online, but it was always integrated. And it blows my mind how many times we run across somebody who is spending the time to do this manually. Mm-hmm. But it also, we've made a shift recently with Gozynta to in the past, all of the support for our product was done through Connectwise's support team. We've made a shift so that we've in-house support. We want to make this as easy as possible. We want to make the product work so that you don't need support, because then we have to spend less time supporting it. But if you need that help, we're there right with you to help you do it. You know, our goal is to provide the very best experience that we can provide.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and we've customized that as well for those people that are QuickBooks Desktop. We actually have a guide that's from step 1 to doing your first batch of how to switch from desktop to online to be ready for goes into Mobius and Connect Booster as well. Mm-hmm. So if you're using Connect Booster, it kind of syncs right in as well. So we're looking at all of our partners and trying to fit that all in and make an experience that is great for everybody.
Right. Well, which makes complete sense. And even as a business owner, I don't want to deal with the integrations of anything that, even if it's something I know I need, I don't have time for that. And it's like, I want to be able to lean on someone to just do it and then say, hey, this is how you get it. This is how you do it from here, you know, and it's just easy. And that's that. So you have another really great product that I was really in awe by, just because we are living in a state where everything is about your phone, right? You know, you're on your phone. No one loses their phone anymore these days. It's stuck to their hip. So you have a product called Text, and I think that's a really great product. I think all MSPs should have this for their end users, because that's where they're at. They're always on their phone. So let's talk about Text. How does Text work?
Yeah, so we assign an inbound number to an MSP. They actually get to choose it, so it gets to be in their local area code. They give that out to their customers, and then when their customer has an issue, you know, their printer's on fire, they can then text that number. It comes right into Manage and opens up a ticket. To the customer, it looks like they're just texting, but from the service desk, you can write right back into the notes. It sends back as a text message to the customer. So it stays right on the phone the whole time. In addition, you could add your technician on as a resource, and then they can text on their phone, and they're texting back and forth. You have the entire conversation in the ticket and Manage, and your customer isn't getting your technician's cell phone, which is, we all know that's a huge problem. So they get to communicate with their tech the way they want, but you have control of that whole conversation the whole time.
Right.
So it's great. Another feature of Tix that's an amazing one is that if there's a network down issue, Microsoft is down, whatever the reason you can't reach out by email or any other way, you can send out a bulk SMS from your lists that you can filter through Manage into Ticks, and you can send out a message to them. Actually, the last Microsoft outage, I sent out a message and said, Ticks can help with this. I can get you an SMS broadcast. They
Oh
sent
my
up
God.
Ticks. They sent up Ticks. 3 people reached out to me and said, we want to sign up. They signed up, and before the outage was over, within 10 minutes, sent a broadcast out to their customers notifying them.
Wow.
They told me they would pay 10 times over just to do that one
Hold on,
thing.
Heather. Let's stop right here. Guys, gals, MSPs, are you following this? Did you know that you can now broadcast text to your clients when there's an outage of email or phone? Do you know how many people are on their phone? Okay, this is huge. All right, Heather, sorry to interrupt. I just had to make sure they were understanding what they
No.
were listening to.
Yeah. Yeah, and really the whole product, it's 10 times more likely for somebody to respond to a text message than an
I know I
email.
do.
So even on the ticket, yeah, your time to resolution is like a microscopic amount compared to what it would be by email. You're getting those tickets closed. You're moving those tickets along. So I mean, when we're talking about a product that is what, $600 a year.
And you can have a conversation with this person who says, hey, something's going on with my computer. What is it? And you get their person, the MSP gets a ticket, and they're literally typing on their computer to that person's phone. That correct? And they're just having a straight conversation that way.
And
Yep.
so the entire conversation's tracked on the ticket. You need to assign a new technician to the ticket. They get all of the history, even though it's happening by text message for the customer. So the customer gets to talk about it the way they want, and it's all in Manage.
We needed Brian and Heather to start this. Seriously, this is, you guys, you need this. You really need this. So stay watching. Now, besides Connectwise, we've talked a lot about Connectwise. How about Autotask? Because you know a lot of MSPs are migrating towards Autotask, or they use Autotask. So does this work with Autotask?
We don't have Autotask support for either of our products yet, but it is something that we're working on. You want us to work on it faster? If you're an Autotask user, drop us an email, support@gozynta.com, and we'll put your name on the list. We'll let you know when we have Autotask support.
Perfect.
And it'll also encourage us to work harder on it.
Yeah, because that's where it's where it's going, and just the fact that you're ahead of that and you're in the programming stages of it. Guys, if you do use Autotask, still send an email, get your name on the list, so that it's this way. Once it's no longer in top of mind, when it's ready, it'll go back to top of mind again, because you're going to forget. Come on, we'll forget everything. So don't forget to just put your name on that list so that you get the reminder of when it's ready, saying that you use Autotask, right? So that's really important. And we're going to go ahead and put your contact information in there so that they're able to contact you right away. Now, so let's talk about what Gozynta has in store for these MSPs. What else are we talking here? Because you got good stuff already, so I'm really excited.
Really, our goal is to, as I said earlier, we're not looking to get rich on these products. We're looking to build the best products that we can. We founded the company just over 2 years ago. We spent the last 2 years, a lot of our time building out our support team, building out our knowledge base, revamping the products. We kind of rebuilt the underlying platform behind all of our products. We went through Mobius piece by piece to understand the user experience and see where we could improve it. A lot of that came down to improving the feedback that the product gives to users. And so now we've got these things they're in a really good place. We've grown our development team significantly, and now it's investing in the next pieces of these products. Building more functionality in Mobius to automate more of your accounting process, and building into Tixt more ability to communicate with your customers in better ways.
So MSPs, here's what you're getting with Gozynta. You're getting text to ticket and broadcast to your clients. You're getting integration from dual syncing with your QuickBooks and your Connectwise Manager, Autotask on the way. And you are getting a relationship with two amazing people who are all in. They are all in Gozynta. It's not just a part-time deal. It's not just something it's a hobby. This is what they do. So that means their level of customer service, everything that they're going to give you is going to be 110%. So that is, all of that are huge assets to add to your stack. So I would say, I'll go in, call them. So
our company motto, because we recognize, this goes for everybody. Well, our company motto is all software sucks. We're just trying to make it suck less. That we've gotten some people who are like, you're even admitting your software sucks. It's like, well, yeah, we're admitting it sucks because it all sucks. We're admitting that we've got work to do, and we're gonna bust our butts to make that
well, you're already
improving it and keep growing.
You're improving Connectwise and QuickBooks together. You're improving texting and tickets together. I mean, tickets is already very, you know, so being able to make it easy by just sending a text is a really big deal, at least for me. And I don't run an MSP. I work for CharTec, and I get what they do on that side, and I get what they need. But as a business owner, that's all really important to me, you know, and using QuickBooks. And I did use Connectwise integrated with my business, which was completely not MSP related. So I totally understand the struggle. So had you been around when I had that going on, I would have signed up. That is 100% sure. So how does everyone start?
Yeah, you go to our website, which is www.gozynta.com. So you can remember it, Gozynta, there's a little bit of a story behind it. Everyone's always asking, where did you come up with this name, Gozynta? Brian, why don't you tell that story?
When I was a kid and my grandfather would be fixing something, I'd be helping him. And, you know, we'd get to a point and he'd ask me to get him the Gozynta. What's the Gozynta? Oh, it's the thing. It's a nut or well, not a nut, a bolt or a screw or whatever that goes into here. Okay. Well, we make products that make data go from one system into another. So Gozynta seemed to be the right name.
Right. So now you can remember where Gozynta comes from, and go to gozynta.com. And there are demos there, so you can take a look at how Tixt works right by side of a cell phone, so you can see what it looks like on the phone, what it looks like in Manage. You can see that whole process from the customer side, and of course from the Manage side. And also we have a Gozynta Mobius demo as well, so you can see how it looks to do inventory, see the invoice batches, check out auto sync, you know, before you get in there. And Tixt, we give 30 days free, so it's a no-brainer to give it a shot.
So the tech goes into the Connectwise board, right?
Yes, yes.
Is that where am I following?
Yes.
I love it. Super creative. You guys, 30 days free to start texting. Try it. What do you got to lose? Absolutely nothing. And honestly, the cost is very minimal. I mean, just to save the amount of time that you're already putting into creating invoices, duplicating invoices from your Connectwise to your QuickBooks, because I know how that goes and it's awful. And then trying to get a whole message out to everybody all at once. If your email is down, texting, having your client just text in a ticket, super easy. I mean, Gozynta. That's perfect. All right, so you know how to get a hold of Heather and Brian, gozynta.com. There's a demo. Sign up for 30 days free. Nothing to lose there. And if you have any questions, if you have had any questions along the way, please comment the questions. We will answer them. Even if when the live is over and you see the video, don't worry about it. Ask questions. We'll respond to you. So I don't know. I think we've covered everything. How about you two? Anything else?
I think so, Brandi. No, I think we're good.
Okay, wonderful. I'm excited, and I'm excited to hear about all of our MSPs. Well, not all, but hopefully all our MSPs signing up and hearing their feedback about it.
Yes,
So
all of them.
thank you too for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you at Academy, right? February 24th or
Absolutely.
26th. We're going to be giving away lots of cash prizes like we did last time. You saw with my little wheel on my phone. We're going to do something different and with the wheel, so my phone isn't being utilized all the time for that. But we're going to be giving out lots of cash again, and it's going to be really fun. And we're going to be having trivia. So cool stuff. Cool stuff during Academy, February 24th, 26th. Don't forget to sign up at chartec.net/virtual academy. And don't forget to go to gozynta.com to sign up for your demo. All right, you two,
Yay.
thank you and have a wonderful day,
Thank
and
you.
we will see you soon.
Thanks.